Paper Sorcerer is an old-school turn-based RPG by Ultra Runaway games. The plot in Paper Sorcerer is really simple. You are a presumably evil sorcerer that was banished into the pages of a magical book by 4 mystical heroes. After waking up in your new prison and realizing what happened, you decide it's time to escape. And the only way to escape the Enchanted book is to dungeon crawl your way through each of its levels. At the end of each level, there is a guardian protecting one of the book's bindings. After you destroy the guardian, you can then destroy the binding, and once all the bindings are destroyed, you and all the other inhabitants in the book get to escape. And that synopsis covers pretty much the entire game. After a brief tutorial, you get access to Sanctuary, which is a town that also serves as your hub and access to the dungeon. In Sanctuary, you get to buy and sell weapons, you can upgrade your characters, and you also get access to the map screen, which is a list of all of the levels that you've conquered so far, as well as the next level in line to be conquered. The diversity and the replay value in Paper Sorcerer comes from the way in which you make up your team. You get to select from a number of different characters, each with its own growth patterns and its own set of skills. These characters include everything from witches to trolls to minotaurs. The choices you make when selecting your team members aren't superficial either, because at the higher difficulty levels especially, this game can be excruciatingly hard. If you don't make the right choices with your team, then there's no way you're going to be able to beat the game. As you play the game, the enemies get progressively stronger and more diverse, but unfortunately the environment really doesn't. All of the dungeon levels in this game are really similar. As you progress, you'll see the occasional change in color and maybe a different texture here or there, but for the most part everything is pretty much identical. The game's interesting sort of pen-drawn on paperback art style made up for this for a while, but at a certain point the sameness of the game still started to wear on me. This problem is remedied to a certain extent by an optional part of the game called the Catacombs. In this section you just dungeon crawl downwards instead of up, but the look of the dungeons are different enough that you can occasionally pop down there for a break in the monotony. Even keeping in mind some of the repetitiveness, the game still has that dungeon crawler draw. Like lots of dungeon crawlers, there's a certain addictive quality to scouring each and every level for the best possible loot and to challenging yourself at all of the highest difficulty levels. If you're not a fan of dungeon crawling games, or you look at the graphics or gameplay and you think it's probably not for you, then you're right, it's not for you. But if you do enjoy this type of game like I do, then you get a heck of a lot of game for $5, and there is absolutely no reason not to pick it up.